It's Monday, November 6th, so it's time for another monthly update video. I'll talk about what went on in October, what we've got coming up in November. First, I want to clue you in, as I always do, to three big things coming up for this month. The first of them is it's World Philosophy Day on the 16th, celebrated worldwide. It's a UNESCO series of events, and I will be giving a talk here, actually being on a panel here in Milwaukee, and then giving a talk also in Chicago that night. So stay tuned for that. Big thing number two, we have some really cool content coming up in our webinar and online seminars. This time we're talking about Nietzsche, Birth of Tragedy, and Responses to Life. Talk about that more in the November section. And the third big thing that I want to bring to your attention, I've got a new series of videos coming out. I released the first one yesterday. These are interview videos where I actually sit down with somebody and chat about in the world of ideas and what they're doing with them, usually somebody from philosophy, but I might consider some other things. So those are the three big things. All right, let's talk about the month of October. A lot of stuff that went on in that month, in part because for me as editor of Stoicism Today, Stoicon, Stoicon X in Toronto, Stoic Week, all of those are things that I'm involved with. I also get tapped to do a lot of talks elsewhere. They're even actually still going on in the present. So we had Stoicon, and that was a huge event. 400 people attended, flew up to Toronto, gave my workshop. You can see the link for the video for that in the description below. And it was really great, though very intense, right? Got a lot of conversations, both with other members of the team and some of the other speakers, and with a lot of fans, a lot of people who had showed up, some of whom had seen my videos or read some of my other work, and so that was quite fun. Late nights every single night. Following Stoicon was Stoicon X. Smaller, about 70 or maybe 80 people attended that one. That was really quite fun. I didn't have to speak during that, but I did record some things. And while I was there, I managed to record interviews with quite a few people, and I even created a little video from Stoicon itself, just about the buzz that was happening. Before I actually left for Stoicon, I also had another session in the Worlds of Speculative Fiction that we do here in Milwaukee. It's an ongoing, not quarterly, monthly series hosted by the Brookfield Public Library. And we talked about a rather lesser-known science fiction author who deserves a lot of attention, C.L., Catherine Lucille Moore. So we talked about some of her works. That was a very fun conversation. We actually got to try out a new, slightly upgraded camera, and we're still getting the hang of that. I mentioned that there was, Stoicon. After coming back from Stoicon and Stoicon X, it was Stoic Week, and I gave two different talks, one down at the new Acropolis in Chicago. The video for that will be coming out fairly soon. We also did a three-person panel for the MKE Stoic Fellowship with myself, my wife and partner, Andy Shaka, and Sean Miller, one of my friends and colleagues from Marquette, discussing how we apply Stoic philosophy in the workplace. So that was pretty cool. Stoic Week itself was a major success. Over 6,000 people participated in it. I'm actually going to include two sets of talks that I gave in early November in the October thing right here. The Rockford University brought me back down again to give a set of 3 talks on Stoic philosophy to the students there and to do some meet and greet with students as well. So that was quite fun. 2 of the talks were ones that I'd given there last year, and the videos for those I recorded last year. But I also recorded a new one specifically on the often vexed, I was going to say many vexed, but often vexed issue of what is this in accordance with nature that the Stoics are talking about. So I did a little thing on that. I also did a Think House, that's with my alma mater, Lakeland University, a Think House talk up in Sheboygan just last Thursday. At the very beginning of the month. That was one that was, quite developed, rehearsed. It was about anger and anger management and how philosophy can help with that. So you should hopefully see that coming out later this month as well. It was a very busy month for me in terms of teaching. I'm still teaching my 2 Marquette classes, and we're now knee-deep in the part where there's a lot of grading for me to do. And students are starting to, it's a long march through this ethics stuff, and I think some of the students are starting to get a little bit bogged down. I also started teaching my Marist class, Worldviews and Values. By the way, if you're interested in seeing a similar version, one that I used to teach of that class, and you'd like to take it yourself, you can find it in my Teachable Academy. It's not exactly the same as what we're doing in the Marist classes, but it's got a lot of the same components. Study a number of really important philosophers. So that's what's going on as far as teaching. I was trying to get some writing done. I didn't get that much done on my blog work or book writing work, but understandably so. I did get a lot of editing work done with Stoicism Today and solicited a lot of articles, so I'm quite happy about where that is going. And I shot a number of videos. I mentioned that one of the big things is I started this new series of interview videos, and I'm going to hopefully continue that with some people here in the local area. I managed to get some sit-downs while I was at Stoicon with Travis Hume, the founder of the Applying Stoicism Project, with Piotr Stankiewicz. I'm sure I'm butchering his name because I always do, but I did get an interview with him. He's a member of he's a member of the Modern Stoicism team. And I also got to sit down with Donald Robertson. And so I think there's a lot of people who are going to be eagerly awaiting that. I'm hoping to do some more possibly this month with some people in various venues that I know of. But I don't want to make any promises about that lest they not come true right away. I also started another new series. Book reviews. I call them Sadler's Honest Book Reviews because that is the aim behind them, to present a sort of objective, unvarnished view on these books that are either about philosophy and life, or about, say, management and leadership, or about other things where the world of ideas is intersecting with the world of practice. So I started out with William Ferrailo's book, and I'm going to be doing many more of those. I didn't get all 6 of my half-hour Hegel videos. I got 5 of them done this month rather than 6, so I'm always a little bit sad about that. But 5 is good, and I shot a number of other core concept videos that I think you may have seen released, those core concept videos on Cicero's work, as well as the event videos. So a lot of stuff going on. In addition to that, I continued with coaching. I continued with a lot of tutorial sessions. Picked up a couple new philosophical counseling clients. So a lot of work in the month of October, and it set me behind a little bit. Now let's talk about November. We're already almost a week into it, and I mentioned that several of the events are already past, but we have a lot of cool stuff coming up this month. If you're around tomorrow, Tuesday, November 7th, in this area, at 6 p.m. at the Frank Weinberg Library in Mequon, I am going to be giving another one of the Philosophers in the Midst of History talks. This one is going to be on Friedrich Nietzsche, the apex of the West, and the threat of nihilism. So that is a do not miss if you're in the area. A little bit later in the week, November 9th, that's Thursday, 7 o'clock p.m., Brookfield Public Library. We're going to be doing the Worlds of Speculative Fiction for this month, and we're talking about L. Sprague de Camp and the Complete Enchanter series of books where, by using symbolic logic, people find themselves in another universe, a whole bunch of universes. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Then the next week after that, November 13th, 11 a.m. to 11:45 online. We have our free webinar, and this month it's a lot of Nietzsche this month. Nietzsche on the 3 noble responses to life. That is going to be about the birth of tragedy and the Dionysian, the Apollonian, and the Socratic as noble responses to life. Then on World Philosophy Day, November 16th, we've got 2 events in 2 different locations. Here in Milwaukee, actually in Bayview, the Bayview neighborhood at the Bayview Public Library, 12:30 to 1:30, we're going to be having a hosted World Philosophy Day panel discussion about philosophy in real life. Then I'm driving down to Chicago to the new Acropolis, where Jalal and I will be presenting 5 Socratic approaches to chasing happiness, another World Philosophy Day event. That's going to be a lot of fun, I think. And then finishing out that week, that Saturday, November 18th, we have our online intensive seminars. These are also on Nietzsche on 3 noble responses to life, but these are going to be much more in-depth, much more time for Q&A and discussion. Those are at 10 o'clock a.m. Central Time, running to 12 o'clock, and 4 o'clock running to 6 o'clock. Then the week, actually it looks like we have a little bit of a break. November 25th from 2 to 3, we have our Patreon supporter philosophy chat. This is for people at a certain level of support. By the way, if you like the work I do, a lot of nice perks if you sign up and become a Patreon supporter, including getting to participate in this unstructured, open-ended philosophy chat. On November 29th from 5 to 6 p.m., that's a Wednesday, we'll have our half-hour Hegel online Q&A and discussion session. And then we finish up on November 30th, the very last day of the month, from 6 to 7, Shorewood Public Library with the MKE Stoic Fellowship meeting. So a lot of stuff going on. I haven't even mentioned the philosophy pop-ups, which, of course, you want to stay tuned to my social media for, unless you become a Patreon supporter, because they already know when they're happening this month. But everybody else will find out the day of the pop-ups. Those are proving quite popular. What else have we got going on? Well, I should mention the fact that in addition to teaching and doing the philosophical counseling, and I'm also doing some consulting and what else? Coaching and tutoring. One of the other things I'll be doing a bit more of this month is going on podcasts. I'm already lined up with 3 appointments over the month for 3 different podcasts. Are all of them new to me? Yes, 2 of them are new to me, and I'm going to be going back on Death Hangout with Oliver and Keith. That was a lot of fun. So, and I may be doing some others, so you should probably stay tuned to that. Those will probably be coming out towards the end of the month. And what else do I need to tell you about? Videos, right? What do we got coming up this month with videos? So I'm going to try to get back to doing some of the Sadler's Soapbox videos. I might be doing a philosophy and current events video fairly soon. It's a matter of carving out the time for it. Of course, you'll see the events videos for all of these events. The interview videos are coming up. And I'm going to be doing some more Sadler's Honest Book reviews. But I'm also going to be doing some more, of course, half-hour Hegel. Turns out that we're a little bit behind in releasing some of these half-hour Hegel, but I've got to shoot some new half-hour Hegel, and I've got a number of other Cicero core concepts on Cicero's On Duties to do this month. If I get finished with those, then I also have lined up to do some stuff on Heidegger's Being in Time introduction. I know some people have been looking forward to that. So that's already a ton of stuff. We'll see how much of it I can actually accomplish. The one thing I also do want to mention, as we're moving towards the end of the year, we are starting to fill up the calendar with events. We've been in conversation with a number of institutions and libraries and departments about where precisely I'll be speaking in quarter 1, quarter 2 of next year. So if you're interested in having me come and talk to your institution, group, organization, whatever it happens to be, or if you're independently wealthy and you want somebody to do a private talk for you that you want to put on for your friends, I'm game for that as well. Just email me at greg@reasonio.com, and we'll be happy to talk with you about any of that. As many of you know, I have a wide range of things that I can talk about, and I'm practically interested in almost anything you can bring to my attention. So that's enough of that. Hope all of you have a great month. Look at the links below. You can see any of the stuff that you missed or any of the stuff that you might want to put on your calendar. And I hope to see some of you either face-to-face or in our online events.